Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the number 56 Chew review. And as you just saw, it will be of Big Mountain Apple. Right off the bat, this is a legacy chew review. This is a legacy bag. This product no longer exists. This is being added in as a review just out of my own interest and me thinking that people will be interested in seeing what it was all about. All right. So my chew connection down in Virginia, Adrian, saw this and being fairly new to smokeless tobacco did not realize. The bag to him felt good and it feels good to me, which is why this review is happening. When I opened up the package, I immediately got hit with apple. And I'm like, what the heck? I already did Stoker's apple. What? And then I saw it and I'm like, what? How? And then I realized Adrian didn't know. So right off the back, the bag was in good shape until I saw a very fine crack and put a piece of duct tape on it to seal it quickly, even though the crack probably didn't go all the way through. I then realized I couldn't quite show the bag with white duct tape on it. So I peeled the white duct tape off and tried to add Scotch tape. Of course, the white duct tape took the labeling with it, and I had to pull out some markers. So that was the only damage to the package. But right off the bat, and this is the first thing that struck me, besides the fact that, wait a minute, the Big Mountain doesn't have apple anymore. There's no Ziploc. And I was like, no. This is a really old bag of chew. But it feels all right. And the reason it most likely feels all right was because it probably had a high moisture content to begin with, one. And two, because it is 16 ounces of it clumped together, it's going to hold moisture as long as the bag doesn't get, a major tear on it. So I am hoping anyway, that this review will actually be uploaded and I don't have to put in a replacement review and this product will be okay. So it's basically the same on both sides. It has no Ziploc, as I said. It has some small differences from what Big Mountain has now. One is made in Tennessee. All right. And obviously apple, because that doesn't exist anymore. Basically everything else is the same until you get to the bottom. On the bottom, underage sale prohibited. Domestic count is no less than 20%, or 23%, sorry, and foreign count is no more than 77. Yeah, I'm having a hard time. All right, so this was made by Wind River Tobacco Company of Springfield, Tennessee. Yes, I was just checking that. All right, Big Mountain is made now by National Tobacco. The people that make Stokers make this product now. It was bought out, I'm not quite sure the year. Somebody that may have a better idea would be Bergs over at Bergs Dip Reviews. May have an idea of when the switchover came about. So let me just make sure that I got that. Yeah, no less than 23% domestic, no more than 77% foreign. Which, this is a budget product, always was. It was under Wind River and it is now under National. So that's not terribly bad. And I have just realized that I forgot the scissors. Sorry about that. I'm usually a little bit better prepared. So, I'm going to cut the top off this, and we will see. Now, I have not smelled the apple. I didn't smell it very long when I opened the package up. I sealed the crack as fast as I saw it and thought that it might be air coming in and out of it. So I will cut where it suggests. I'd like to keep as much of this package intact as possible. And is that going to open it up? Yes. Yes, it does. A little different when it doesn't have... Oh, wow. That's some really dark stuff. And there's some definite apple going on there. You can tell it's older stuff, but the moisture level is still there. It is very dark. It is very tacky. It would have probably at one time been wet. But in person, there are aspects of it actually glistening. All right. So that's what you're looking at. It's pretty long. It's pretty stringy. And as you can see, there is still a lot of moisture in the product. It's just cut really long. None of these long stringy bits are actually secondary stems. It's just a really long cut on it. I'm going to throw it in, and then I'm going to hit the pause button, and we'll see what this is all about. It's still good. It is still good. I don't know how I'm going to keep it good without Ziploc, but it's still good right now. Okay. This is what this is. It is basically along the lines of Stoker's apple. All right. There are some slight differences, but those slight differences I could write off as the product not being overly new. All right. So it doesn't seem as warm and apple pie-ish, although it is sort of like that. It doesn't seem as much so as the Stoker's apple, but that could be because of the age of the product. All right. The smell off it isn't quite as strong, but again, could be the age of the product. What you're looking at, though, what Wind River had going on whenever this was, could be more than 8 years ago, to tell you the truth. They had what going on then, what Stoker's Apple Chew is now. Now, this raises one big question in my mind. Did the buyout by National Tobacco of Big Mountain coincide timeline-wise with Stoker's coming out with its Apple Chew? What I mean is, did in April of so-and-so year, did National Tobacco buy out Big Mountain, discontinue the Apple Chew of Big Mountain, and then 4 months later, Stoker's came out with an Apple Chew? Because if that is the case, then this basically is literally legacy. Stoker's Apple Chew was originally this. If you see what I'm saying. Interesting idea. And this is the point of Berg's new Wikipedia. Not Wikipedia, sorry. Fandom Wiki page on smokeless tobacco, to collect information along the line, like factual stuff, like timelines of when products were released, when they were discontinued, etc., so forth and so on. So in that way, that would be a great asset for someone like me anyway, because I would be able to tell you when this was discontinued and when the Stoker's Apple was released. As it is, this is sort of conjecture on my part, but it's something that's believable that could be the case. It's good though. I mean, if you see this somewhere, all right, and it's not sitting in the sun in a store, like it's on some back shelf in shade all the time, pick it up and feel it. If it's all clumped together and it's pliable, it's not going to be as good flavor-wise, spinning-wise, whatnot, as the Stoker's apple, but it may very well be cheaper. And if you point it out to the shop owner that it's probably been sitting on his shelf for, you know, over half a decade, they may even give you a break a little further. You know what I'm saying? So, not having the Ziploc. See, I go through pound bags like they're nothing. All right? I get a 3-ounce bag of like Red Man, and that's going in an afternoon. I can blow through a pound bag in less than a week. If I'm really chewing a lot. Which, admittedly, as of late, I have not been, but I can see that changing because there's 4 more pound bags coming in the next month or so. So, it's good. It's very much like, if not the precursor to Stoker's Apple Chew. It's the same type of apple. We're not talking a tart apple here. You know, we're talking a warm apple pie type apple. It is cut very long and should be basically black and glistening. Now, I'm guessing the way it looks now, originally it was probably near actually wet. Now, the way this is, it feels tacky to the touch, but it is soaked enough with whatever they sprayed it with that even though it's not wet and only tacky now, it still glistens in my lamplight here. Really long, stringy cut. Comfortable, though. And the long stringy bits are not secondary stems. There doesn't seem to be any stems in this product. The only difference between this and when I reviewed the regular Big Mountain 2 weeks ago, this seems like it's cut even longer. Okay? So, all in all, I mean, I'm glad I tried this. You know, I'm glad I had the experience of trying this, although my shoe contact didn't quite realize and sent this, you know, in retrospect by accident. I'm sort of glad he made the mistake. Because otherwise, I in my area, I would have never seen this. And I've never seen a Big Mountain product in my area, ever. Any of them. So, I mean, it's one of those deals like, you know, if you can get a pound of this and it feels okay in the package and it's like $10, you can get away with chewing this, and it doesn't taste bad. It tastes good. Tastes good. It's just not quite as popping flavor-wise as the Stoker's apple. All right? But, I mean, if it feels okay in the package, you got to think you're dealing with a full 16 ounces in a bag like this. 16 ounces of wet product stuck together is going to hold its moisture. Unless, like, the top of the bag is cut off or something, you know. Unless the bag is seriously compromised, as long as it's clumped together, and this stuff probably would have been near wet when new, so it would have settled together on itself. You got a huge clump of moisture like that, it's going to be very difficult for that to dry out completely. All right? So this has been the Legacy review. Now, as I explained before, I say legacy. That is a term from pipe tobacco circles. Pipe enthusiasts cellar pipe tobacco. That is, they take favorite blends or blends that are hard to get that they like, and they cellar them. It's figure of speech. I mean, they're not actually putting them in cellar. Maybe some are, I don't know. But when they have those cans set aside, sometimes the product in those cans is discontinued by the company. And then that can becomes a legacy can. Okay? It's a legacy can. It's carrying on. The product is still there to be smoked. It's carrying on the legacy of that blend that is no longer made. This is sort of legacy in two ways. It's a chew that is no longer made, but it is also from a company that is no longer in existence, to the best of my knowledge. Anyway, this has been the legacy review of Big Mountain Chewing Tobacco Apple. Long cut, very dark, moist. Guessing by chew standards, which are basically all low, that it is on the lower side, as is the Stoker's Apple. But it's good. It's good, and if you can find it in packaging and it feels okay in the packaging, you can get it cheap enough. Why not? It's going to be a one-time deal anyway. All right? So again, this has been the review of Big Mountain Apple Chewing Tobacco in the 1 pound bag. I am the Suit&Tie Dip and Chew Guy. I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.